Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good day. My name is Kenneth Ray Coleman Jr. Don't forget the Junior, and you are tuned in to the Let's Talk About It podcast. We are on episode number two. Number two. We ain't got the special effects yet, but we gonna get them. We gonna get them. And this topic is what are we doing dating in 2025? I have a special guest on the line who is blessing us. Just an awesome young lady, an entrepreneur, a dope person, individual friend, whatever you want to call her. My new friend, and
Oh,
yeah. Miss Chantel, how are you today?
good. I'm good. Hey, y'all.
We appreciate you blessing us, and we ain't gonna hold you too long. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and dive into this thing so we could break it down so it could forever be broken. Okay.
Okay.
So how would you define dating? How would you define dating? Not a trick question.
How would I define dating? You got that now, that's kind of a loaded question. So you got to kind of break that down for me. Tell me what you mean. How would I define dating?
You know, it's, well, in this dating culture, it's subjective. Everybody got their own definition of what dating is. Um,
Okay.
so I say,
So
no, you
go
go.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go.
No, no. So, okay. So I, when I had a show. I used to have a talk show.
Okay.
And this was one of the topics, kind of sort of the topic. It was how soon is too soon to show a person your real self when you're like in the dating world, right? But for me, I don't date. I don't really know how to date.
Okay.
So in my mind, I'm a relationship girl. I'm a person that likes to be in relationships. So even like in my current relationship, it wasn't like a dating process. It was like I see you, I like you, I know could be something great for me. Let's dive in. Do
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of people waste a lot of time when you're dating. Like when you're a serial dater, like you're just going from day to day getting your meals or whatever paid for, however they do. I don't know. But for me, I feel like I don't want to waste a lot of time with you. Like I can tell by the way you walk, this ain't gonna work. So let me just roll out. You know what I'm
Not by
saying?
the way
I'm
they
gonna take me
walk.
my little drink and I'm gonna go. It's like that. So for me, I guess how do you get Sean married without dating? I think you just kind of like know what you want. I think like if you know I'm the person for you, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it takes a long time for you to kind of vibe with a person and kind of like know if you're in the company of kindred spirit. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
Somebody that you feel like will be good for you long term. Like, of course, when you're dating, of course, I think a lot of people give people their representatives. You give a person your best version of you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you kind of like lay it out online and you tell a person what it is you want, what you're expecting, and then you go from there. Like it's not really a dating process. It's a let me get to know if you can fit into my life where I'm going. And if you can't, then cool. But the main factor for me is I think people lack transparency.
Mhm.
So that's what I think. I think people lack transparency. I think people are not genuine in telling people exactly what they want. If you're a gold digger, you got to find somebody with some gold. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Super
just being
facts,
honest.
super facts.
And it's somebody for everybody. You can't ask a person that's a thousandaire to give you what you're looking for. You need a millionaire.
Right,
So you
right,
got to
right.
find that person that fit in your lane. And it's somebody out there that wants you. They like your ambition. You know
I
what I
guess
mean? And I
that. I
think
guess
that's the
that.
problem. I think we try to fit ourselves into a mold to which we just we don't match. We don't mix.
I think a lot of people aren't really, they're not looking to date with a purpose. They just looking to go on dates,
Right.
which is two different things, but they say, but they have the lip service to say, I'm looking to date, be intentional, marriage or whatever. But
Thanks.
really, they just looking for companionship.
They really just looking for a meal. Just keep it all the way 100.
That's
They
all.
want somebody to buy them a steak.
Steak and shrimp, you know what I'm saying? Hibachi looking self, you know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
but I think dating, I define it as gathering information on a
Okay.
person or people to say to make a decision on what you want to do with them.
That's facts.
But I think one of the things that makes dating so difficult is that a lot of people don't have the capacity to gather information because they have so much hurt, trauma, undealt with stuff that they haven't dealt with. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like having an iPhone that needs an upgrade. Your upgrade ain't gonna let you do it until you clear this memory out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that hinders a lot of the dating process because people don't have the patience, they don't have the time, for to gather the information.
So it's like, I'm gonna get what I can get before you give me. Or I'm gonna get you type of thing before you give me kind of thing. Like,
Right.
let's see who gon' win, So kind of like two can play that game, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you said transparency, a lot of people don't have. I think a lot of people don't have self-awareness of themselves as well as, hold themselves accountable for their actions. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Um, and I'll just give you a quick example. Normally, I've been in a couple dating situations, definitely in a relationship that,
Okay.
I was like, hey, I'm telling you the version that I wanted to say in my head, but it was more PG-13 in the way that they was able to receive it. But I was just like, hey, you got some selfish tendencies. Like, you need to work on this. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, ain't nobody got no selfish tendency. Ain't nobody else told me that. So why would I listen to you? And I said, well, tell me the last person that you allowed yourself to get to know intimately to be able to see these sides of you, and then let me know what they said about you. And so if you
Mm-hmm.
ain't allowed anybody to intimately know you within the last couple of years, then how can they say something about you? Like,
Right.
so you're trying to dismiss something because you don't want to hold yourself accountable or be self-aware of something that this is who you are right now, like in this season.
Well, I think also, to piggyback off of that, a lot of times people just want to, I'll say, like, kiss your butt to get along with your face. you know like they won't tell you and be honest because they really don't plan on sticking around anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why would I take the time to cultivate a person that I'm not really planning on seeing long term?
Hmm.
So people don't have a self-awareness. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right, right.
nobody ever just really sit down and told them that. Nobody never just really cared enough,
Hmm.
to let you know, hey, you being selfish, or you not being transparent, or you really a liar. You know what I'm saying? Like you really not straight. Like you really not what you think you are.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
had to do that to me. I'm gonna be all the way 100. Like I was like flabbergasted. I was like, what? Like who you talking to? Like But when a person really cares about you, they're going to tell you the truth.
Right.
And I feel like that's the most beautiful thing when a person can be authentic with you. You know, people lack authenticity. Like people lack that because nobody cares enough. Everybody's out for what they can get out of the situation instead of pouring into. And if we are both trying to make each other happy, then there is no room for error. I'm trying to please you, you're trying to please me. So I want you to be the best version of yourself. You got to sit down long enough to actually listen. You got to sit down long enough to actually not just listen to respond, but listen to hear.
Right, right.
The Bible says, be slow to speak and quick to hear, right?
Mhm.
So that's the thing we missing. We want to just, before I even say what I got to say, you already got a response in your head of what you going to say to me.
Facts, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of you taking what I'm saying. And even if it doesn't work for me, it might help you in the next situation.
Right.
Everybody not a lifetime. Some people seasonal. I learned that in this 40-year-old age of mine. Like I done been through some things. I was like, yeah, you just a seasonal person.
Yeah.
I actually had went into situations and it's like, this is gonna help you for your next. This
Mm.
might not be for me, but it might help you. You know what I'm saying? It might help you later on because yeah, it's like what you know.
So
But
what would you say is a misconception about dating?
a misconception, I guess, that people are actually really people are dating. Well, I'll put it like this. I feel like a misconception is when I date you, I'm ready to marry you. You know what I'm saying? Like people get
Mm.
that misunderstood.
Okay.
And that's the reason why, for me, I'm not a dater like that. You know what I mean? Because in my mind, I feel like that when you're dating somebody, like you, okay, I get you this far because I don't even like consider myself. I'm not saying I'm just like I'm selective, right? So if I'm
Mm.
very selective, I'm conscious of who I allow in my space.
Okay.
So if you get to a point with me where you on a date with me, then I consider you, somebody I would potentially want to be in a relationship with.
Right.
So I think people move too fast in dating. How about you just talk on the phone? Like people don't talk on the phone no more. You remember back in the day we was talking on the phone, the chat line and stuff like that. We got
Yeah,
to know each other,
for sure.
before we even got to that point. And so before you even get to know a person, you already in bed with the person.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So the misconception for me is I'm going on a date thinking that we're headed towards like maybe a more serious, like towards relationship, and you going on a date to screw. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So it's a different type of, it's just different, especially in this day and time. In this day and time, it's the relationship pool is not. It don't got pee in it. It don't have, it's not how the people be saying. It's just real cloudy.
Mm.
You know,
Right, right.
nobody has. There's no. You can't see nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's no transparency. So you really don't know where you're swimming or who you're swimming with. You know what I'm saying? So it's very cloudy.
Right.
But for me, that's what I would say a misconception is I think we we all want different things and nobody's being honest about what they really really want, so we just taking a lot of things from people.
I think there's many misconceptions, but I think one of the misconceptions is people don't understand the responsibility of what they say they want. So, you say you want an honest woman, an honest man until you get an honest person. You know what I'm saying? Honest, a person who is honest is going to hold you accountable.
That's facts.
A person who is honest will hold up a mirror to you opposed to why everybody else is holding up a window towards you.
That's true.
Sometimes we don't like the reflection that we see, so we lash out at the person who's holding the mirror. So the misconception is like until you understand the responsibilities that comes with what you want, you better be careful in what praying for and what you're putting out into the atmosphere because just because we're not ready for something, it does not mean that God is not going to bless you with it.
Well, here's the thing. What you're saying is very accurate, but it's leaning more towards relationships because when you're dating someone, from my understanding, from what I gather, is you just basically going on a ship with somebody. This is what a person explained to me. You get on a ship and you decide whether or not you good, and then y'all can jump into another ship on your own. So it's a lot of people on the ship together, and then once you decide you're ready to be in a relationship, you get on another ship with that person and y'all relate with each other. Like y'all have a common interest, and then that's where you going on your way or whatever with each other. But while you're dating, you're not gonna get none of what you're talking about. Like as far as someone making you be accountable and all that stuff, you're not gonna get that while you're dating because you're just getting represented. That doesn't come until you in a relationship. You get what I'm saying? Like the hard questions that you're talking about, those are things that should happen pre-date dating. For me, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like we should go back to, hey, what you doing? Nah, what's going on with you? You know them conversations you used to have when you used to be all over the place, twirling the phone cord and stuff like that.
Right, right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying then you would know if you were the person that can take accountability. If you
Right.
were the liar, if you were the cheater, if you know what I'm saying. But if you before you even you're not even giving yourself a chance enough to get to know this person because you are already going to the dating sector. You get what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So what you're talking about comes into play when you're in a relationship with somebody. You know, that's when you kind of have to decide whether or not the person that I am. I always use this. I say like being in a relationship with somebody is like trying to fit a Mack truck through a Cheerio, because you got two different people with two different perspectives, been living two separate lives, and now y'all got to kind of go to be in one sector with each other. Just y'all got to become one,
Right.
have like minds. You know what I'm saying, and all that, and be equally yoked. Well, if I've been used to being by myself and being on my own, then I have to actually transition my mind to allow you in my space to even listen to you tell me I need to be accountable or to change things about myself. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Well, if I'm not in that space with you, I don't even know you enough to know if I want to do that.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So
feel
yeah, you might be nice, you might be cute, you might got a little money, and all that. You might be, you might love God and all that stuff, but I don't really know you like that to even invest.
I feel it. I respect that. I think no what I ain't gonna say that. What's something you think men get wrong and right when it comes to dating?
Who you asking me these questions about dating, but I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm a baby when it comes to dating. Okay, so when you're saying, and then too, that's like a like, okay, you got to break that down. Tell me what you mean, because I could say what I think men get wrong or right when it comes to relationships, but I can't tell you what they get wrong or right when it comes to dating, because dating is a widespread situation. Dating is, what do you get right and wrong as far as like picking the right restaurant, picking it, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what I'm saying. So dating, when you're dating, do you date multiple people?
No.
That would be considered dating these days.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? What you talking about is going steady. People don't do that no more. I'm just saying, you know what I'm talking about? Like, people don't do, like,
Right,
people,
right,
what you're talking about is like, we coding. We go together. You know what I'm talking about?
right,
Like,
right,
that's
right.
what you're talking about. We here. We go together. Like Martin say, we here.
Okay,
But
so
like,
we gonna talk about it in that aspect then. So
yeah, you're talking about that because dating is different than we go together.
right, okay.
You know what I mean? So like, when you're talking about what men get right and wrong, in my opinion, I just feel like a lot of men are not very conscious of what women really, really, really want. You know, and slow down enough to actually listen. There are a lot of men that are not as attentive to the women as they should be. You know, I mean, they got this thing where they call now the MGTOW, the red pill, the blue pill, all them different type of thing, all that crap going on, where women against the men and men, you know what I mean? Men
Right,
are
right,
lovers of themselves and all that. When in our actuality, the Bible says it's not good for us to be alone. You know what I'm saying? It's just not good. We could do it, we could function, but it's not good.
right,
So this is how God gave it to me, is he gave Adam dominion over everything before he gave him Eve. He gave him dominion over everything, which means he really could have been out there with the sheep and the cows and the, you know what I'm saying, all his stuff by himself, growing his own little plants and doing all, he could have grow his food, he could do, but what then what? You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
Then what? And then there's a responsibility that you have when you take on a woman, even in the quote unquote dating, or relationship sector. This is pre-marriage. So relationship sector, even in the relationship sector, you have a responsibility if you're taking on a woman. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men are not wanting to, I would say, live up to that responsibility. There are a lot of women that are not making the men accountable enough to do it.
So give me the
'Cause-
cheat code. Give me the cheat code. What are three
So,
things that women want that you say that men don't slow down and take the time? Let me get my notes real quick.
okay, get your nose ready. Get your nose ready, baby, because I'm going to help you.
Okay, thank you. Amen.
I'm
Glory be
going
to
to help
God.
you now. So listen. So the number one thing that I'm talking about me, and this is just really, I can say it's a vast majority of women, because I talk to a lot of women on a daily. And I have a lot of people that come to me and ask me for, advice and things like that. But just all, I study psychology, but I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. This is just all downloaded from the Holy Spirit. Okay. This is all God gave me. So let me just put that out there. You know what I'm saying? I just know the things that he gave me, and they work. Some, they work. So I don't know. You kind of use them sparingly, but I'm just telling you what I know. So number one, we want to be covered. We want to be covered all the way around. That means when I say cover, I mean you got to do what you say you're going to do. If you tell me that a date is going to be at 12 o'clock, I'm looking for you to be there no later than 12:01. You hear what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And if you're not going to come, just hit me up. Shoot me a text. Don't just act like it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Let me know that I'm valuable to you, that I'm a priority to you. We want to be covered. The same space that you put your mama in, that's where your woman want to be. This is talking about relationship. We ain't talking
Okay.
about
For
marriage.
sure, for sure, for sure.
We're talking about relationship, because when you get married, she's above everybody. But when we're in a relationship, when you think about taking your mama something to eat, you want to take your woman something to eat. You can't be like, I was with my mama, you know what I'm saying? It's my mama, right? No, it don't matter. You know what I mean? I'm just being straight up 100.
Yep.
This
I
gonna help a
got
whole
you.
lot of men be nice. They gonna be good. If they listen to what I'm saying, they gonna be good. Because this is what I hear. We want that. We want to be covered. We want to be protected. You know what I mean? We want to know that if I don't have anybody else, when my tire blow out, I don't want to call my dad. I want to call my man.
Right.
And for the first time in 40 years, I can say I've been in several relationships. This is the first time I've ever not called my daddy for something.
Mm.
That's bad. In 40 years? You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When I could just call, say, hey babe, or baby, I'm here. Or if something happens to me, he pissed because he can't be there.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a little story real quick.
Okay.
I had a blowout, and the first person I called was him. He was not able to get there. I was headed out of town, and I called my dad, which I had to have roadside assistance. He was so upset that he wasn't able to be there. You know what I'm saying? He was so
Hmm.
upset that he was just like, the next time you go, the next time, and then like the next week I went out of town, he made sure everything was good to where I didn't have to do anything.
Right, right.
You get what I'm saying? I remember a time when I blew out two of my tires on the side of the road, and I didn't call my daddy, I called him. He stopped what he was doing. He's a business owner. He stopped what he was doing. He came and got me straight, seen about me, and it was late at night. You know what I'm saying? Like he could have been going home, but he stopped what he was doing and prioritized and came and got me off the side of the road. You know what I'm saying? Made sure that I got home, drove to where drove me to my almost to my house, and then turned around and went home. Stayed on the phone with me till I got home. Made sure I was okay. That's the safety part. You get what I'm saying? Like we want to feel
Hmm.
safe. We want to feel secure. We want to feel covered. That's number one. Okay.
I'm here. I'm here. I got the notes.
Okay,
I'm,
so
I'm ready.
so number one, we want to be covered. We want to feel safe. Number two, and this is above being loved. You hear me?
I'm listening. I'm here.
So number two, the second thing we want, aside from being covered and feeling safe and all that stuff, we want to be thought about. You know, Give me a gift every now and then. If you know my favorite color red and you pass by a red dress, just give it to it. Just go get it. Oh, baby, I bought you this. Baby,
Mm,
I bought you a red flower. Oh my God, that's so sweet. You're gonna get all of that. You know what I'm saying? We want to be thought about.
mhm.
Even if we could do it ourselves, we want you to do it. We want to know that you think about me like that. You know what I mean? That all goes back to being a priority in your
Right.
mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Number three, we want to be loved. Because all of those things that you giving me, just those two things, you're gonna get all my love. I'm going to love you more than you love me naturally. Men love harder than women. People don't understand that, okay? Let me just put that misconception out there. Men love harder than women. You know how I know that? Because when you leave a woman or y'all break up, she'll cry for a minute, but she'll be back with somebody else in like 3 months. But a man, when you hurt him, that man, I want to say the N word, that man is going to be till you when he get with the next woman, he gonna talk about what you did 15 years ago.
Mm.
Men love hard, but women are
Yeah,
more emotionally connected. Like when y'all love, y'all don't even y'all when you get it's hard to get in that space, but once you get in that space, you ain't going nowhere. Like it's you in that space. Y'all love for real. It's like this is my real, my this is my heart. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But women are emotional, you know? Like we live in the affection part of love. Y'all live in the action part of love. Like we want to feel loved. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like when I say feel it, like I want you to come in and rub my feet and play in my hair and you know what I'm saying? Like just cuddle with me and you know what I'm just think baby, what you do today? Hi, just show me affection and
Word
that's
of affirmation. Yeah.
yeah, because y'all live in the action and in our minds, why you ain't touching me? Why you ain't doing this to me? Well, I paid all the bills. Well, I made sure you got a car. Well, I make sure you have gas. Well, I make sure you get what I'm saying.
Yep.
I make sure you can go get your nails done and you can do. But in our mind, we're like, baby, I wanna some quality time. I want to spend time with you. But he like, baby, I ain't got time. I'm trying to make sure things are okay. I'm trying to make sure things work. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So it's a flip side to it because even though we want those three things, I know the things that women need to do for y'all.
Mm.
So it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? But those are the things that I think are the most important. Safety, security, that covering, being thought about, being affectionate, being loved.
That's why, as you said earlier, the Bible talks about, a man want to be respected, a woman want to be loved.
That's facts.
That just means
He
that.
gave us the blueprint that he told me that years ago. I learned this in relationships is if you're talking one to another, this is what God gave me. You talking too much. You
Mm.
talk to me. I'll talk to them. If they following me, they're going to treat you how you're supposed to be treated because they listening to me.
Right, right.
So I learned to shut up, be quiet. You don't gotta tell him everything you feeling. Be quiet. Talk to God. He'll talk to him. If he a man of God, he listening. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be quiet. He gave us the blueprint. He said, "Men love your wives, and women submit to your husband. Men connect with your woman emotionally, and woman sit down and listen. You know, connect with him mentally.
I feel with it. Let's get it. Let's get it. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess I'll just answer it. What is something men get wrong and right? I think, let me say this disclaimer first.
Okay.
In my experience from personal as well as when I talk to people, it seems like that the scales are unbalanced. When I say it's unbalanced, I say sometimes I see a lot of great men dealing with not so great women.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a lot of great women dealing with a lot of not so great men.
Mm-hmm.
So in those experiences, I could say that men, like what you just said, like I could say I've seen a lot of men give those three qualities to women, but they didn't appreciate it. They didn't value it. They didn't respect it.
Unequally yoked.
And then and it's vice versa with the women. So
Hmm.
what I think men get wrong is that we don't understand how tradition and how we were taught about masculinity is really unhealthy. But we still try to hold on to that.
Oh,
And
you got to
so
break that down, please. I want to know what you mean by that.
what I mean by that is that I was in a relationship, and
Mhm.
this lady was the young lady, she was saying that, I want you to treat me the way that my grandfather treated my grandmother. And I said, okay, let me digest that and let me look and see how they was doing it. And I said, okay, well, I said, you want me
You
to,
said, let me look and see how they was doing it.
yeah, because I can't say that I'm gonna do something if I don't know everything that it entails doing.
Right.
So I just said, you want the traditional old school way of relationship of marriage, and I said, well, let's talk about it. Let's put the cards on the table and see if this is something that you really want. You want me to go back into time where women were not valued, were not respected, and you want me to treat you in the way that they were treated back in the day.
Wow.
And I said, when they did not have a voice, the only thing that they were supposed to do is stay home and take care of the kids and do all this. And it did not matter what the man did, as long as the house was taken care of, it didn't matter about his actions.
Right.
So I said, that's unhealthy. I said, number one is that doesn't even make sense in today's time because a woman is, if we gonna keep it a buck, a black woman is more of value in this world, in this society, than a black man. So a black woman has surpassed black men or any other race. Let's keep it 100 because they are the most educated. They are more making more money. They're more business oriented. They're more educated. Like all these accolades women have achieved. And so now when I talk about traditional and how masculinity was taught to us, is that we have to release some stuff. I can't still think about a woman as she was in 1960 when she's independent. If I'm gonna be honest, like how women roll now, they look at man as like you an option. You ain't really no priority.
Hmm.
So I have to do something more than just pay bills. Because guess what? She could do that. What are the three things that you just said? None of it incorporated money. Because why? A woman can do that for herself now.
Well, let me interject.
And
Let
I'm
me interject real quick because I'm going to tell you this. I'm about to tell you this. Even though I make money, your money spent better than mine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna always feel like I'm never gonna make my man feel like he's inadequate. Like what even if I can do it, I want you to know that I respect your position in my life.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing with that. And women, what you're saying is very true. We have gotten to the point where we feel like that we can't we could just do it ourselves, blah blah blah, especially with the rose epidemic. I'm sick of it. I'm just over it. You know what I'm saying? Like you taking a whole affection out of it. Like it's supposed to be. That's the dynamic you're supposed to have. What she's saying, she's not telling you because what you're saying is in a time when they were less valued and all that stuff. Well, I'm gonna say it like this: my grandma was back in that time, and my granddad, my grandma, she made money also. She worked also. You know what I mean? But her money was her money, and his money was their money. You know what I mean? He took care of everything. Now I don't know, you know, outside of the household. what happened. Now, some people say, like, they have families all down the street and all different types of stuff. I don't know nothing about that.
Right, right.
That's not what I was accustomed to. That's not what I saw. What I saw was I came from the product of a man being what she asked you to be.
Mm,
My dad, my granddad, my uncle. Like I saw the man being the head of the household, taking care of everything, and the woman was the help meet, as in an additive, meet. You know what I'm saying? Because people say it's help mate. No, it's help meet. That means I'm helping meet the needs, whatever it is that you may be lacking. That's where I come into play, right?
mm.
So that's the thing. Like, I don't think she was asking you to treat her like, as far as the society's perspective. I think she was talking about the family structure, because even now, Black women they may have the most substance, but they are the least valued and the least respected. So,
Yeah, yeah. And what unfortunately, um and when we talked about masculinity and tradition, men don't understand this concept is that we led so much with our money. And now, not to say that money is not important, but it's not as important. Your title and position and money is not as important as your character,
that's
morals, and
facts.
values.
That's good.
And I
That's true.
told I told somebody this the other day. I said, "Hey, if you give me 3, 6, 8 months to a year, I can get any materialistic thing in this world."
Hmm.
But I said, there's a lot of people that have been living on this earth for years after years, month after month, that does not have a heart, that does not have any character, does not have any morals, that can go a lifetime and not experience the goodness of what God has in certain areas because they lack this. Money can't buy you everything. Money can't buy you happiness.
What the words say? Man think their motives are right, but God judges his heart.
That's all that's it.
So that's the truth.
So I'm gonna get to this one real quick, and then I think what men get right is I truly believe that there's a lot of I don't say good man because I think good man is like a curse word.
Okay.
Um, but I just say there's a lot of men out here who are ready to handle the responsibility to give to be the woman, to be the man of a woman's dream and to be there to give them what they need and want. But I think
Well, my mom says people aren't good. Nobody's good but God, but people are
okay,
decent or exceptional. So it might be something you exceptional or decent man.
I could rock with it. I could rock with it. So tell me, what is something that women get wrong and what is something that women get right?
Did I tell you what men get right? No, you did, but you did it right. You did a good job with that.
You
Because
did,
I didn't say what men get right, did I? No, I just said what they get wrong. I'm
you did.
sorry, man, because we have we okay. So here's the thing. That's let me just segue right on into it. Then we have a issue. We have a big problem. I'll say what women get wrong first. We have a problem with not lifting our man up enough.
Mm,
I have a big problem with doing that. We have a big problem with talking about the things and I know because I did this. I had to come out of this. I had to learn how to reposition my wording as opposed to saying, you don't ever do this. I had to start saying, I just love when you do this, but I would like for you to do this.
mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
So we point a lot. You don't take me out. You don't do this. You don't rub my feet. You don't never ever, we don't never ever do, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And not thinking about the load that this man carries every day. When he goes outside your door, a lot of spirits he attached to, or that try to attach themselves to him, a lot of circumstances, and he fight on the job, or if he's a business owner, he deal with customers, he deal with just shoot budgeting and trying to make sure he got all this stuff together, and then on top of that he got to come home or come to or be in a relationship with you and not feel like he's adequate.
Right.
So us not valuing our men enough and just lifting them up like we should. Stop pointing the finger and saying what he does wrong, and just readjust. I think I want to say recalibrate. Try to go and switch it around. You know, because I'll tell you something. I learned that men work harder when they feel like you value them. Like, that's just like when you was a kid. If you knew that you was throwing a football and your daddy made you feel like you was just like, yeah, son, that's good. That what they say, attaboy, that make you work harder.
Yeah.
So I learned the secret. I was like, you know what? This is how I'm gonna get him to do XYZ. Oh, baby, I just love the way baby, this is the best sandwich in the world. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it would have been so good if I would have had a little cheese on it. You want to go get some cheese, baby? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right,
it be
right.
real simple like that. You don't got to say you ain't putting no cheese on it. Which one did you like the best? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about you. Which way did you like the best?
No,
The first one or the
the
second one?
the first one, the first one.
Absolutely. You know what I
But
mean?
I think that's just that's a I ain't gonna even say cheat code, but that's just like common sense. Most people go 110% for when they feel valued and appreciated.
All
Like
sense ain't common, baby.
it's simple.
All sense ain't common.
Oh, but and somebody, my guy, he's a firefighter, and he used to always say, um, I used to always say, that's common sense, and he was like, I've learned that sense ain't common.
That's facts.
And, you,
Like those are things that you would know. But see, this is the thing. You can't expect a person to know something that they've never been taught. You're dealing with women that were either taught by a single mother or she was a single mother in a married home, in a married household,
hmm
because the man didn't know how to be the head of the household. So she handled everything. So when you asking her to treat you a certain type of way, she don't know how because she's never been taught.
and she's unwilling to learn because
She
now
don't know.
because
She don't know that she has to learn.
but and see that's why I say I think that's an excuse that some women, not all, not most, I'm just saying some,
Mm-hmm.
especially some of the women that I have experienced,
Never been taught that.
they haven't been taught it, but they see it, they know it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I always tell people this, what happens when you're normal, when you find out that your normal is unhealthy?
Ha ha ha.
Most times when people find out that their normal is unhealthy or that it's toxic, they just continue with their normal. And they go find somebody who's willing to accept their normal as healthy instead of, and one of the hardest things to do is unlearn behaviors and traits and things that I've learned for so many years and then relearn something else.
Mm-hmm.
That level of vulnerability or that level of openness, and as you said earlier, transparency, a lot of people ain't about that life.
No, not at all. But as far as a woman is concerned, whenever I feel emotionally connected to you, I feel like um, that I can be safe with you. I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna make the necessary adjustments because I don't wanna lose you. I love you. You know what I mean? When I love you, I'm gonna make the adjustment. I'm gonna go pray. I'm gonna go to God about it. It's not hard for us to do that.
Listen,
A lot of times it's the guard. It's the guard. That guard dog ain't no joke. It's up. You hear me?
it's funny that you say that because my first episode of this season is I got my guard up and I'm not ready for nothing.
Hmm. That's facts though. Like seriously, it's hard for women to let their guard down, which leads me into number two is we don't we won't allow ourselves to be emotionally available to our man.
Mm.
That's a bad thing. When your man can't come home and just be, that's how side chicks come about. Facts though. Like, because she let him lay on her lap and cry.
Mhm.
And you want him to be Superman. He can't never take his cape off.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Lois.
I ain't got nothing to
Which one
say.
you gonna be? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, you gotta let that person breathe. Like, I pride myself on, I'm gonna just be, I ain't trying to toot my own horn, but I don't think it's a relationship that I've ever been that I can't have again. They left, they left and they want to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
Because
facts.
when you realize what I'm asking you is mediocre, I ain't asking for a lot. Love, honesty, faithful, respect, that ain't nothing. When it's your character, it's easy for you to do that. You know? But we don't allow ourselves to be emotionally available. And then the third one is, and this is the thing that, like, you need to do a whole show on this. We don't want to submit, honey.
Mm.
We don't want to be submissive. We think being submissive is being a doormat, when you don't understand being submissive is the strongest thing that you can do. That means that you trust the man that God has given you to lead you. You
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
trust in order to be submissive. It's the essence that you carry. It's the person. It's what you were created to be. It's not selective on depending on who deserves the submission. You know, like
Mhm.
you submit. That's, I always say that God gave me that. It's not selective. Submission is not selective. I am submissive because I am docile, because that's who I am. That doesn't mean I don't have to be firm. That don't mean that I don't have to stand on my word. That don't mean I'm not going to make you be the person that I know that you're supposed to be to me. But it's the way that I say it. My daddy always used to tell me when I was like a teenager, and this is probably the reason why I am the person that I am. It's because in my teenage years I was raised by my dad. I went from my mom's house to my dad's house when I was a teenager, and at the time it probably was a little, like how they say, it was unconventional how it happened. But I think back now and I needed that,
Mhm.
because it helped like transform me into the person I am now. And I say transform because when you're raised by mom, it's different as opposed to being raised by dad. You know what I mean? Like, I saw men in a different light. I go to him about y'all. When there's something going on, I'll be like, Daddy, let me ask you a question. And he'll tell me, he gonna tell me straight up and down like what it is. And I was able to understand how to be emotionally available, but also because I'll cry in front of him, in a minute, cry in a heartbeat, but I also understood like what a man really, really wants, and how he really, really is, and what he really supposed to do. I can connect with you mentally. You know what I mean? So that men play a major role. So if this is sidebar, if you a man and you have a teenage daughter or a little girl, like your role in her life is important. So I needed that when I was that age. From the age from 8th grade to 12th grade, like that was the most important years that I had. And I needed that, that connection from a man, you know what I mean? To be able to understand to the woman that I am now, and that just helped me to be able to, if I whenever I have a relationship or I'm in a relationship, it's easy for me to be a girl. I like being a girl. Hey, I got these gloves on. I ain't got no nails on. I'm like, baby, I am a girl. I like being a lady. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to
Right.
be no man. I'm straight. Like, I'm straight. No man want no man but a man. If a man want a man, I mean, like a man. If he is a man, no man wants to lay with another man. If you a man, you want a woman. If you a real man, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, if you a
I
man
got you. I got
that like women, you want a woman.
Right,
You know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
right.
So I'm just saying, no man want to lay with another man unless he want a man. So I mean, I'm just saying, like,
I got you.
so
I got you. I got
so
you.
for me, like, if I am a person that I'm emotionally available, I am I'm allowing you to, be vulnerable, you know, with me, and I'm being quote unquote submissive to you, I don't see a reason why I should be single.
Respected. All right, give me something that the women are getting right. Let's big up the women.
Okay. So, one thing I think that we are getting right in relationships is we want to be married. That's something that, we understand the structure of the family.
Hmm.
We know, because a lot of, like you said, like women feel like that they don't really need a man. They feel like that. Well, that's not really true in this day and time. Even though you got it together, if you look across social media, all women want is a husband. My husband, my husband, my husband. Have you seen that? Like it's always my man, my man, my man, my husband.
Hmm.
So women are understanding that we want a man. We want to be married. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things we are understanding. Like I feel like that's a plus for us
Okay.
that we know that we want to be in that role. We want the soft life.
Mm.
We want that.
Okay. Okay.
Now how we transition to it is the thing, but we want the soft life. That's number one. I think we are like bosses. We are understanding how to be a helpmeet, like for real. Like a lot of us are out here trying to get it, trying to help add to the family. You know, like it's easy for you to find a woman that's doing something for herself right now.
Hmm.
You rarely gonna find a woman just ain't doing nothing. Like if she ain't doing nothing, she not happy with it. She gonna try to figure out a plan. You know. So most this day and time, 2025, you can pretty much go to the grocery store and do like this and find a good woman, because she done had so many bums and she ready, baby. She is ready. So that's number two. Number three, I would say we know who we are. That's a good thing. Self-awareness is a good thing.
Amen.
Being confident in who you are, who God has created you to be. We love God. We are understanding who we are as a woman in the place that we hold, the value that we have in our family structure. Like we understand that. So I think those are three things that are, I think we kicking the enemy's butt when it comes to that. Like, it's a lot of women out here, and I watch a lot of people and their profiles and stuff like that. And I'm always seeing kind of the same thing. Women are looking good out here. It ain't a lot of BBLs, it's a couple, but it ain't a lot. It's a lot of us in the gym. We working out, we getting ourselves together, we got our, as far as our finances are in order, we're becoming the person that we want to attract. If we're not already the person we want to attract, we are becoming the person that we want to attract. And those are the things that I think women are getting right.
Okay. I can dig it. I can dig it. I hit it and quit it real quick.
Just hit me off the top of the head. I ain't even study this stuff.
What women are getting right, I would say,
Oh my God.
I'm
This
thinking.
taking that long.
Um, what women are getting right, I would say, I really say women are really supportive. Um,
Okay. That's good.
I would say they are supportive. When they value something, when they rock out with something, they're
They're
gonna
gonna
give
go
it
hard for it.
110%.
That's right.
No excuses, no reason for it to fail, for it to
Mhm.
go under. Like it is what it is. No excuses. I love that. I respect that.
Yeah.
Something that they are getting wrong, I think.
Hold up. You ain't got three things.
Oh, you want three?
gave me three. What's your three? You just only
See,
giving me one.
you got the answer. So I ain't. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Well, we'll take the one. What's the one that thing that they get wrong? What we get wrong?
What they get wrong. This I just feel like there are. Nah, they
That's nothing.
haven't put the work in that's needed. I'm not saying all. I'm not saying most. I'm just saying a few. So I
Mm.
don't come at me.
No, I'm not. It's no judgment zone over here. I want you to say whatever you want to say.
No, I just say this. I really believe that they lack self-awareness. And what I
Okay.
mean by that is that for so like, and this goes back to women being so amazing. Like for so many years, for so many relationships, women have been the strongest one, mentally, emotionally strong, financially, in all aspects, however you want to say it, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They have been the strong one. They have been the go-to person. And I feel like at times they point of reference is always to a person who was less than them,
Mm.
who was under them. And so then you get with a man that is emotionally intelligent or that is disciplined with his emotion, with his words, intentional, and then he holds you accountable in certain areas, and then you shy away from that.
Hmm.
Like you retreat because that is something that you're just not used to dealing with. And so
Uncomfortable.
yeah, uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
So, I could be wrong, but that's just a few things I've experienced. So pray my strength in the Lord.
I am praying for you.
Amen.
I am praying for you. I am. I think what you're saying is true to a degree. I think what you're saying is true. I wouldn't consider it a lack of self-awareness. I would say we too self-aware. And that's what I said. I think we know who we are. You know what I mean? So coming down to not coming down. Let me not say that. Oh, I'll say that. I'll say this. One of my good friends used to tell me, somebody has to come down in a relationship. So you have to decide whether or not you want to be right or you want to be happy. So a lot of times we have to decide if you're the person that's worth us coming down for. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Not being less submissive, but being less headstrong
Hmm.
and saying, "Yeah, okay, you're right, you got this." I know, cause I had to be like, "All right, white flag. I don't want to fight no more. I'm tired." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but if I don't care about you like that, I'm gonna go to the. I'm like, I don't care what it's just I don't care what you say. Like,
I
we
feel
gonna
it.
fight. So.
Okay. So, what's something that people you think need to understand more when it comes to relationships?
Your way is not always right.
Mm.
It ain't all about you. It is not all about you. And that's on both ends. Like I
Yeah. Yeah.
said before, I'll say it again. If I'm doing everything I can to please you, you doing everything you can to please me, we don't have no problems. The only problem is how much love can we take? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like everything is not all about you. That's just period.
Mm.
They don't even know that's this everything's not all about you, period. Next question. Because people be trying to make it because I think, in my opinion, and just to elaborate, it's like I remember when okay, let me just be all the way 100 with you. So when I first got into the relationship I'm in, I had to do some God had to do some reconstructing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to go back to the drawing board and figure out and find I actually had to find myself. And I thought I had already arrived. You hear what I'm saying? But I
Mm-hmm.
had to do some work on the inside. God had to do surgery on my heart because of the things that was attached to me that I did not let go of.
Yeah.
So because of that, it's always, well, you did this. Well, you did that. Well, you get what I'm saying? So like
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much justifying the things that I'd done instead of actually what you always say being accountable because I'm always looking at who hurt me. You get what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
because I'm looking at who hurt me, I am not looking at I'm hurting you.
Yeah.
So that's something that I had to do. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was bawling, crying on the floor, talking to God about me because I was like, I'm just not, this is not, I don't want to be like this. Like, I don't want to be hard in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to be soft. I don't want to be hard. I was playing submissive.
Mm.
I was playing, you know, the reason why I say you could play submissive because I've done that. Like
Right.
I can be kind to you, but it's a nice nasty. You hear what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
now when I really am, I'm like, okay, I really am when I say, what can I do for you? It really is, what can I do for you? It's not what it used to be, what can I do for you, but I really don't want to.
Mm.
I do it, but now it's I'm doing it with nothing in return.
Right.
And even if I don't get a return on my investment, I know that what I've given and what I've gained, it's going to be greater for the next phase of my life.
Right.
And when I say if I don't get a return on my investment, there's no love lost. You get what I'm saying? Like if
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't transition to the next level, I'm okay. I'm grateful for the time. I wasn't like that at first.
Right.
It was all what you owe me. I'm not going, well, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not doing this because I don't know what you might do. You know what
Mm.
I mean? And I'm just being honest. Like a lot of women, a lot of people, not just women, a lot of people are like that. It's like it's not saying where I'm selfish or like I'm like whatever I can get from you type of thing, but it's I'm not going to give too much of myself because if I give too much of myself and I become extremely vulnerable to you, you have the option to hurt me. So if you have the option to hurt me, then if I give you the opportunity, you might just take it. What if you leave? What
Right.
if you do it? You get what I'm saying? So before I give you that option or before I give you the opportunity, I'm gonna let you make you prove yourself to me.
Mm.
You know, like you got to be all the way up here on this list before I even come here. That's not right.
Yeah. I'm gonna piggyback a little bit off of what you just said, but I think people need to understand is that we live in a culture, society, and that we have adapted it that we give based on conditions. We do based on conditions. And just a quick example, I told somebody, I said, "Hey, I'm not your person, so
Woo.
we can go ahead and let it roll." And I said, "I want you to be happy." And I said, me saying I want you to be happy is not based on the conditions that you have to be with me. It's saying, I want you to find the desires of your heart, however you think you should find it, go do it. Go be happy. Go be the person that you think God has called you to be. And I think too often, like when people say, I want you to be happy, they mean, I want you to be happy with me.
That's right.
And we just do and we give based on conditions. Nor like if I know that I can get everything out of you, then I'm gonna give you three-fourths of me. I'm gonna give you this work.
And that's not right. That is so not right. That's so wrong.
And I'm gonna give you this story real quick because everybody don't know it. No, most people don't know it, but I was in a relationship And in the relationship, on the first 60 days that we were in a relationship, I bought a ring because I was like, hey, this is my person right here. This is it. Like I
Mm,
ain't got to do it no more. Um, and over like the next, after the 2 months that I bought the ring, like over the next 6 months, we went through hell. Like we literally went through hell. And I knew why we went through hell. But make a long story short is we didn't end up working out. One of the reasons we did not end up working out is because we communicated together and we talked about marriage. And she knew that I was always saying that this is my person, I'm going to get the ring. So she was always looking for the proposal. But we didn't create the environment that she never understood that I was waiting for her to, I'm trying to put it in the right words. The moment that I knew that she could love me unconditionally, I was ready to give her the world. But I could not propose to her if she would only love me or only do for me based on my conditions. Because it was important for me to know that if I couldn't do something, if I couldn't be the person in that season or in that moment, would she still love me? I never had the confidence that she could do that. So
can
so unfortunately, we didn't create the environment that we can get back on the same page after that. So
I,
say that again.
can I help you?
Amen. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna start by saying this, and I know we live. I mean, I know it's a podcast, but I'm gonna tell you this real quick. I'm gonna be straight up transparent with you. And the reason why I would rather I was going to say, and I'm gonna talk to him off camera. No, I'm gonna talk to you right now because I'm gonna tell you why. Because there are so many men that did what you did, and it's a mistake.
Mm,
And let me tell you why. Because what you don't know is the thing that you were not doing was a thing that you were was hurting you. The
mm,
thing that you were waiting on was the thing that sabotaged you.
right.
That was the enemy. See, the enemy does not like togetherness. You hear what I'm saying? Like he doesn't. And number one is this: what God told you ain't none of her business.
Mm,
Because
okay.
a man that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor. It ain't got nothing to do with her. So that's mistake number one. You shouldn't tell her nothing. Ain't none of her business. You just do what you're supposed to do. You get what I'm
Mm,
saying?
mm-hmm.
And as you're doing what you're supposed to do, you would know the qualities that you're looking for. And you would know the time because God gonna tell you. But waiting is what messed you up. Because when you wait, you give the enemy opportunity to come in and fester. Because that's what he's looking for. What is his MO or his motive? To kill, steal, and destroy. Right? So the
Mm-hmm.
moment you created the thought in your hand and you put the thought into action, which when you bought the ring, he was coming for you. He coming to kill the vision.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said write the vision and make it plain. You spoke it out your mouth. He coming in to kill, steal, and destroy.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of men and a lot of people that will watch this. That is not something that you do. Mm-mm-mm. The Bible says that God said, "Let there be light," and it was light. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
when you spoke that, He used your words against you, and He went in her head and He started matriculating things, and then He just destroyed what God was trying to create. It's
Right.
nothing that can't be restored. Anything that, if it's God, it has the opportunity to be restored. Whatever it is, you know, He can reconstruct anything, right?
Thanks.
Same way Jesus put the man ear back on. It's that's just the way that it is. That's how God does things. But I'm just saying that to say the same thing, that when you're waiting and waiting, I'm gonna wait to see. I'm gonna wait to see. You're gonna wait right on, and somebody gonna slide right on in and get your woman because you waiting. What you waiting on? Propose, man of God. If you watching this, go on and do it because it don't make sense for you to wait. What you waiting for? This is something that God gave me about being in a relationship with somebody that, or being in a relationship, period, in like the sex thing or whatever, right? If you are a man, this is the way he gave it to me. He told me, you will know if a man really loves you if he withholds himself from you. Because if he withholds himself from you, then he's more focused and concerned about your soul and your well being. So why would you allow yourself to be put in a situation to where either one of y'all could at any point in time drop dead and go to hell because you don't want to make the move?
Hmm.
So that's why I said the same thing that you're waiting to do is the same thing that's sabotaging you.
All right, I got two more questions, and I ain't gonna hold you. I appreciate you giving us your time. I appreciate you.
I know I'm a little deep. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I told you we gonna break that thing down so it can forever be broke.
Okay.
Do you think women have empathy when it comes to men in relationships?
Whoo, no and yes. No and yes. No, in the sense that, like I said before, and I say we because we're human race, but we're all women. So I'm gonna have to put myself in that category too. We think our men are supposed to be Superman, and when he put that cape on, uh, can't nothing hurt him, not even your words.
Mm,
Our words are like knives. And so we are not emotionally empathetic to our men a lot of times.
mm.
No, no. Yes, in a sense where it's all good when we in the bedroom, but I should be able to have breakfast with you the next morning
Right.
and talk. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah, I should be able to have breakfast with you. Can we talk out? Can I? You can't, the same person that you do life with, you got to be able to, you can't just, you have to be able to be vulnerable with the person that you decide that you want to do life with. You got to be able to allow that person an emotional, I guess, room, to just grow. Like you can't just put a person in a box and just say, I want you, but I just want this part of you. You
Hmm.
know? Nah, you gotta let your man be, he can't, he's not stone. So yes and no, in my opinion. What about you? What do you think?
I say no.
Okay.
And what I say that is because it's going to be twofold, and this is unisex, so it don't matter. But for this example that I'm giving is unisex. But I feel like people do not treat you based on how they want to be treated. They treat you based on what they know about you.
Okay.
Because if people treated you the way they want to be treated, then they would be more considerate with their words. They would be more thoughtful with their actions. But if I know that I can get an attitude with you, and 10 minutes later you're gonna be all right, or because I know that you're patient and you're kind, you're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
give me the smoke that I really deserve in this instance. You're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna give it back to me. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna treat you in this manner. So when I say no, as far as empathy, I feel like it's challenging at times for some women to put themselves in the shoes of the person that they're in a relationship with. Because it was like sometimes we have to be honest, and this is vice versa, but we're just talking about women in this instance. We'll go men in a quick seconds. But if we honest with each other, like sometimes we have to realize it's challenging dating me. Like I come with 1,000 benefits, but it's still challenging dealing with me. Like I can't sugarcoat it. Like it is what it is. So even though how patient I am, how intentional I am, I know that sometimes I get in my moods where I don't want to be talked to. So do I have empathy on sometimes that as considerate as I am, sometimes it's overload in life that when I get home, I might be on edge, so I can't be that considerate right now because I'm feeling some type of way.
Woo, I need a pen right now so I can go back to that. Go ahead, please. That's a whole different ball game, right? What you just said.
And so, but can I be so let me just say this. So yeah, okay, we talked about it, but as far as just the empathy part, I'll say yes and no, as you said. I think women are doing a better job putting them understanding that men suffer in silence and they're trying to do something about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think they're aware of that now, and some women are really, stepping in, like doing the work and saying, "Hey, you ain't got to do it all," or come emotionally talk to me, like release, 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 relate, release. Like, come on, talk to me about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you
The
think men have empathy when it comes to?
no, no, no. H no. No. H no. I can't say the word because I'm a Christian, but H I can say this I can say the I can say the letter.
Heck no.
But
Okay.
heck no. No, I want to say the H word.
Okay.
No, but
Okay.
the fact of the
Okay.
matter is this. No. I'm going to say yes and no. But I'm going to say no strongly. But I'm going to tell you why I'll say no strongly.
Okay.
Yes, a little. But the reason why I say no is because men are not wired to be emotional. They are not. They are wired to see the facts, you know. Um, I was, I'm gonna tell you, I lost my makeup. Well, I don't say I lost. Somebody stole my makeup bag.
Mm.
Okay, I two bags. Let me tell you, I have been upset about that. But the Holy Spirit loved me. God loved me so much that He already knew what's going to happen. I just feel like the enemy was trying to test me like he did Job, and I think that right there just kind of that right there was a way to get me. You know, it was a Brahmin makeup bag. Okay, you know how much Brahmin costs, right?
I'm finna Google it real quick to
Woo!
make are you
It was
talking.
a Brahmin makeup bag, and then it had a whole lot of El Maquillage makeup in it, y'all. Y'all, if the girls know about that, it was, because my skin, I have to have hyperallergenic makeup. So we're talking about, I had two bags and probably, I'll say about 2 grand worth of makeup. Okay.
That's a
All
lot.
right. So, yeah. So I I kind of really been in silence, and I'm going somewhere with this. I have been a little bit in silence about it, but he is the one that got my truck to get fixed, and he gave me a loaner car so that I can get around and stuff.
Hmm.
So I left my makeup bag in the back of my seat. And that he I believe that somebody may have taken it or something. I don't know what happened, but I was a little more emotional about it. I didn't say much, you know what I mean? I just was like, this happened today. I was like, we were taking care of some business or whatever. And so I was like, I really am upset about my makeup. And I was like, I'm just a little upset about my makeup or whatever, And so I was like, I can't, he was like, instantly went into trying to figure out, you know. And in my mind, I want you to be emotional like I am.
Mm.
I want you to be like, baby, it's gonna be okay. No, he want to get on the phone. Hey man, did you check this car earlier? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, he on the phone talking to them about something. I
Yeah.
want him to be emotionally connected to what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But he is a problem solver. And so in that moment, that's why I said women don't really connect with you guys as far as empathy, because I could have been empathetic to how he handled the situation, and I was, because I just went on. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to say something, but I didn't. So my emotional intelligence kicked in, and I was like, yeah, okay. I know how he handled it. I handled it different the way he handled it.
Hmm.
So he's not emotionally connected in that way. He's a problem solver. So instantly he's trying to figure out who had the car, who, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't know that it affected me the way that it did. He didn't understand to the magnitude because I didn't explain this is how much the makeup costs. When I said the number amount, that's when he instantly was like, hold on, let me find out what's going on, whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that being said, I believe that you guys are wired differently for that reason. Because I would have been crying as opposed to trying to figure the situation out.
Right, right.
You get what I'm saying? So not in a way where it's a bad thing, but in a way where it's kind of like an irritating thing. Because like I want to cry about it, and you like dry your tears. Like what you crying for?
Hmm.
You know? Yeah, I want to cry. I don't want to dry my tears right now. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's the thing. But in a way where it's a yes, it's definitely during intimacy. You guys show your emotion during intimacy. Like that's the way that you connect with your woman. Like that's how you show me that you care about me.
Hmm.
Which is why it's hard for a lot of men to do the abstinence thing, whether or not you Christian or not. Let's just talk about it. Be all the way 100. It's hard for you to do that because you are you. That's the way that you connect emotionally. Like
Hmm.
you, I want to show you how I feel about you when I connect with you like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So it's a yes and a no. When
But
you got a woman that you love and you care about, if she cry, you almost want to weep
what you just said
because
is,
because of that, because you are connected like that.
but
So
I think one of the dope traits about somebody who is in a relationship, I don't care if it's friendship, family ship, kinship, whatever kind of ship you in,
mhm, mhm,
is just somebody who's open.
mhm.
A lot of people are not open to learning new things,
Right. That's
or they're not open to having new experiences.
right.
Because, and I just give you this example, I was in a relationship and I think I maybe 38, 39, something like that. I never flown before. Um,
Oh, okay.
so I was in a relationship and the young lady I was in a relationship with, she was like, you ain't never flown before? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, ooh. Like she getting
You sound
crazy.
like that, did she?
That's all she was. And so in that moment, it triggered me. And, I have one of my problems or one of the triggers that I have is that, like, I feel like I'm not enough.
Okay.
And so in that moment, she made me feel like I wasn't enough, just because I haven't flown. It wasn't because I didn't have the money. It's just normally the places that I go, I could drive.
Hmm.
Okay, so go back to the story. In that moment, I got triggered and I could have reacted in a way and gave her the smoke and went off on her, did whatever I did. But in that moment, I just said, don't take it personal, what she's saying. Don't take it personal.
Hmm.
And so in that moment, I didn't take it personal. And now I'm 40 something, 44. And I've been to 5 countries and I've flown
Oh,
over the United States. Like we doing things.
toot toot.
And I say that just to say this is like too
You
often.
toot your horn. You toot your horn.
No, I'm just saying like sometimes we limit ourselves because when we get triggered, we react off of those emotions.
Uh-huh.
And so I could have missed out on my experience because I wasn't emotionally intelligent in that moment to have discipline or regulate my reaction and say, hey,
Hmm.
it ain't that serious what she said.
Hmm.
Get over it. Get over yourself.
Right.
So in closing, I will say men don't have empathy when it comes to women because if we did, we would treat them better.
Ooh.
We would talk to them better. We
I
would
want to.
handle.
I want to say this to one point that you said.
Okay.
You said that when you come home, some days you are um disconnected you because of the things that you go through outside of the home, and then you just it's a lot dealing with you and stuff like that. I feel like that is one of the reasons why I say men are not as emotionally connected as women, well, to women, because you have to have a level of emotional intelligence to separate what goes on outside in the world as opposed to what's going on in this house. Like when you come home, you gotta decompress. And you gotta put all that out there, and then this is what we dealing with. You know, I had to do that like this week. You know what I'm saying? But he's not able to separate the two. So whenever something goes wrong, it's oh my God, you know, it's I just need to just figure this out.
You're
Let
right.
me just but that's the way. And that's not a good way to be.
Let me say this disclaimer. I'm able to do it. I was just in a bad relationship where I couldn't turn off when I got to the house.
Ah. So
So
he didn't
sometimes,
provide a safe space for you.
right, right, right. So if I'm with a person that creates
Harmonious
that
environment.
environment
Yeah.
or creating that vibe, it's
Hmm.
because normally here's my thing. Number one, I'm gonna be so in tune with my woman that I know in the tone of her voice or by the reply in the text that I know how her day is going. So when
Gotcha.
she gets home, the evening is already taken care of, especially if she feeling some type of way. One of my guys had said a long time ago, he said when in a relationship, or especially when you married and the world is beating you up, it's unfair, or it's unfair to you, or you done made the wrong choice if you got to come home and you still getting beat up.
Woo. That's what I'm saying. I said that we gotta separate. We gotta understand that they fight outside. They can't fight at home too.
And so,
Mm-mm. It gotta
and
be a soft pillow to land.
that's all that's it. And when it's all said and done, it's like, cre- I say this all the time. When it comes to relationships, and people always talk about what are we bringing to the table? I always say this too often. People are looking for the same thing that they have for the other person to bring to the table, and they don't like leftovers. I'm gonna say that again. You want somebody to bring the exact same thing that you bring into the table, and none of y'all like leftovers. What you need to do is bring somebody who is going to complement your dinner. If I'm bringing dinner, can you bring the wine? Can you bring the drink? Can
Can
you
you
bring
bring
the
the
dessert?
dessert? Be the dessert, girl. I'm telling you, listen, I got slapped on the wrist, red for filth, whatever you want to call it. Baby, he got me together because I was that girl.
Mm,
Like what you're saying, like
right,
he used to say all the time, when I come, I don't wanna fight with you. I won't, but in my mind, I'm like, I just want to tell you how I feel. I just want to tell you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to get, can you just let, he like, no, no, no. I had to learn. I'm like, it's a time and place for everything.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta say everything. You don't gotta say, this is just he could have been and did 50, 11, like we used to say back in the day, 50, 11 things. Like he could have did a whole lot of stuff that you just really didn't like. But in that moment, is it worth you saying what you don't like?
Hmm.
Like, you could just sit down and watch Netflix. It's okay. Let's talk about it another time. He already had a lot going on. You know, write him a letter. I'm good at writing letters. That's what I do. God, y'all, ladies, write letters. They gonna understand. They'll sit down and read a letter. They don't like them text messages, them long text messages. They ain't gonna read it. But the letter, they'll sit down and read. I've learned that with most professional men, because they are always either reading stuff, they're planning, they're budgeting, they're doing. That's the way that it's easier to to get mentally for them to get mentally engrossed in what you're trying to tell them
Hmm.
through a letter. So I just started doing it that way as opposed to this.
Right, right,
Too much
right.
of this, it just kind of goes and it starts sounding like Charlie Brown. So that's why I had to learn that. Like that was hard because with women we just want to get it out.
Hmm.
We just want to tell you what we feel. Like I just want to tell you how I feel. Well, he don't want to hear all that. So yeah, I struggle with that. I struggle with that, man of God, but I got it right though.
Amen, amen. We're glad you got it right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna end this podcast, and we thank you for blessing us. We look forward to having you on for some more topics. I love your insight. Your voice is needed. Do you got anything else? Can you give the people a helpful tool on to cultivate a relationship, how to cultivate a relationship.
Man, that's a whole nother podcast.
I'm sorry. Well, you gonna be on that one then. You go ahead and be on that one then.
I will say this. If you are good to one another, if you are loving each other, if you are giving all that you can give to one another equally, then you'll never have half of anybody.
Mm,
So I would just say that. Be all that you can be. Don't worry about what they doing.
mm,
Don't focus on what they doing.
mm,
God told me to do what I'm supposed to do. Because if they're not the one, he'll remove them. Just
mm.
like he'll remove you.
Amen. And on that note, well.